Hello and welcome to another review on Bandai model kits. Today we're taking a look at the Toy Story 4 Buzz Lightyear and Woody. Now these don't say FlicKr standard anywhere on the box, but they're essentially the same thing, just like how the Star Wars model kits don't have that logo anywhere. Much like FlicKr standard, this follows the 1/12 scale. Now of course they're toys, in the movie, but this is the 1/12 scale as if Buzz Lightyear or Woody were real characters. And just like the FlicKr standard model kits, these are quite friendly to people who aren't used to building model kits, because these are essentially action figures and appeal to the action figure collecting crowd, which don't necessarily build or paint anything. So much like those kits, these are easy to build, and for the most part the coloring is already there in the plastics, so even if you don't have any painting skills and you just build this without any tools, you should still have a decent looking figure. Since these sets are intended for the international market, aside from Japanese, there's also a lot of English text on the box, instructions, etc. So it's right there, expression parts to recreate a wide range of emotions are included. But of course the Woody there doesn't have the perfect Woody face, which is of course trademarked by Revoltech. Speaking of Revoltech, if you want to take a look at a review I did for the Buzz Lightyear Revoltech figure I did a few years ago, check out some of these links somewhere below on YouTube or something. Ugh. On one side of the box it shows you the different expressions you get inside there, as well as some of the accessories that you would get with this kit. The other side has some copyright information as well as the model kits, while the other side of the box shows you the figure after they've been assembled and painted. This side of the box shows you the figures without any painted detail. As you can see, the color separation with just the plastic is quite good. And of course they make sure to advertise that there's no painting required and no glue required. This is of course for people who aren't used to the Bandai model kits, because all of their kits pretty much don't need those things. So the Buzz one is a pretty big box. It's bigger than most FlicKr. He's quite bulky, I suppose. He's also bigger than the Woody box. Let's see. So that's creepy without the eyes. That's so I guess we've got some eyebrows there, the faces. We've got the glass dome. Not sure what these are. These will be the red buttons, I suppose. And on this side there's some of his purple parts and boots. See, the shoes are there. Okay. Next up we have his green highlights. Yeah, pretty cool. We got the softer plastic goods with the joints and stuff. They're usually made out of softer plastic. And this ring is also sort of softer and this sort of collar piece also a softer plastic. I guess that makes sense, because if this is the softer plastic, then they can have the transparent piece move a bit better on the joints. We got some white parts here for the backpack, I see. Oh, and we have our sticker sheet here. We have Andy and Bonnie, but it seems to be an entire single piece. That's going to be a bit of a pain for anyone who wants to apply that. No decal sheets anywhere though, which is a bit of a shame. These model kits seem to just don't do decals anymore, and that is a huge shame, because the decals would, for model kit builders especially, they would prefer that much more. Okay, next up some of his joint parts, a figure stand. Oh, it's in a matte finish this time, not glossy. That's awesome. And finally we have two bags here. Oh, these will be the different springs. Alright, because the wings are spring-loaded. We have the English translation sheet, basic instructions. It's the same piece of paper you've seen in many other Star Wars kits as well. Of course, we have our instruction sheet, which also has some English on there. Actually has a brief description on Buzz Lightyear. Transitioning to a new owner was a big change, but Buzz has taken the move to Bonnie's room in stride. Though no longer the toy of the moment, Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger is as bold and trustworthy as ever, always ready for a new adventure from the movie Toy Story 4. I guess we have some proof of purchase in this corner there, got different poses. We have the sticker guide, I think. And we have the paint guide as well, some in English, something like white 90%, 5% orange, and orange yellow, so you can make the colors exactly as you need for the skin. And so as it's black and white on one angle, the layout is very different from the regular model kits. Instead of a sticker guide right at the end, this will tell you where to apply the stickers while you're building it. Woody's box, like I said, it's much smaller than Buzz. Right away we have a sticker sheet. We have Andy and Bonnie there. Now Woody's of course much easier because he's got a flat bottom on his boots. Let's see, you got the blue there and black for his cowboy vest. Next bag we have some of his arm parts. We've got some joint pieces here as well, but these are hard plastic, so that's interesting. You got the creepy, soulless, eyeless sockets here. Seriously, these remind me of... I know in the movie Coraline, they have like buttons on their eyes, but this sort of reminds me of that, of the Coraline movie. And we also have his hat and cowboy stuff. Oh, his eyebrows are here too. This is big round. Oh, his hairpiece, yeah. Oh, finally we have another figure stand. Again, it's nice that it's in a matte finish, as well as the white parts of his suit, and I guess his eyeballs. Another English translation sheet here, and of course the Woody instructions, action poses, paint guide. Let's see, it says here, now that the beloved Andy is off to college, Woody and his friends have a new home with the energetic Bonnie. Bonnie's toys have welcomed the gang with open arms, but transitioning to a new owner after so many years is harder than Woody had thought it would be. How will Woody find his footing in a new phase of his life? From movie Toy Story 4. And again, yeah, Assembly Guys is very simple and easy to follow. Pretty cool. And here they are assembled. No painting done and no stickers. Overall, they look pretty good already, except Woody looks like he's missing his soul. Ooh, it's creepy. Definitely gonna put his pupils back in. He just looks really weird without pupils, but later on that. So let's go with Woody first. Let me just. Oh. Yeah, by the way, I thought I was doing something wrong, like, because there's a peg on the inside of his hat there, and I was thinking, like, is this supposed to peg in somewhere? One of his headpieces have a hole in it? No, that's just how it is to hold it up. So, yeah, get some blue tack for the hat. That's not very fun. So, aside from the fists already attached to him, he also has a pair of relaxed hands. You can see that they're plugged in on the ball joint. That's nice for articulation. And he also has a pair of thumbs up hands. Because this is his regular face, but he also has like a eyes face and a scared face. And just so you see inside, you don't really unplug these to move the eyes. You're actually supposed to just, do that. And you saw he's like looking to the side, and he looks actually less creepy when he looks a bit goofy. There we go. Good, Woody. It's fine. Reminds me of that Robot Chicken sketch when Buzz goes like, ooh, lost half my head. I won't spoil the ending, it gets pretty dark. So, anyway. Yeah, so far it looks pretty good. The color separation is nice. Look in the back there, you can see they've also done the whole jacket thing. This is always like extended outwards. Would have been nice if there's one extra articulation there where it can come down, that'd be good. Even gold, which is chrome and silver and stuff, are usually pretty bad on like these model kits, but this is pretty good. It's not painted on anything, but it looks good enough, and it really does help that these characters are originally supposed to be toys. I mean, yeah, he's supposed to be like a a doll, but it still fits fine. He doesn't have to be too realistic. But anyway, in terms of articulation, he's got a single ball joint on the top of his neck there. His neck seems a little bit longer than I like it to be, but whatever, it's fine. Double peg joint for the upper arm, and you got a swivel, rotation here, single joint there, and hands is of course on that little ball peg. And the torso can rotate. He can sort of move back and forth. He is on the ball peg, but you see, as soon as you do that, you sort of separate the body a little bit, which is better than no articulation, to be honest. Legs on a little peg and swivel there, so whoop, whoop, whoop. Rotation here, single knee joint, and foot is on a peg and swivel to help him stand. So there's he's going like running like anyway, Buzz. Let me unpick him from the stand, which actually is kinda, in a way, it's like kinda useful, more useful compared to just a regular arm clip thing, because they have vastly different body sizes, but it would have still been nice to have that arm for more dynamic poses. So Buzz here, now this front piece here just sort of comes off, so you can't do the actual opening mechanism, which really sucks. And this one's stuck, and I'm kind of scared I'm gonna break it, but come on, come out. Yeah, there we go. So you got these two tiny pegs that just peg it in. That's a bit worrying. And here he is, Buzz Lightyear. Again, he looks even better than Woody because he's perfect. Like, he's an action figure in the movie, so he's got action figure plastic colors. That's great. Although he does have slightly less articulation, because aside from the fists, he only has these open palms, relaxed hands on little ball pegs, and he does also come with 2 extra faces. He's got a face and a face, so both of them have the same types of face. So, also really like the matte on this area and the shiny. It's very nice contrast. Like, even if you don't add any of those details, he still looks really nice. So head is on a single ball peg. Let's get stuck on some areas. But that's actually really good movement for, you know, how he's built. On a peg and swivel, you see he moves slightly backwards and forwards, and also go up this way. You actually build this black ball like on top of the joint, so it does hide, you know, its articulation quite well. Rotation here, elbow joint there. It is a single joint, but it's got quite a lot of movement, same on both sides. And of course this side of him has this little door thing that you can open. Again, I haven't put the sticker in there yet. And then the hips on the rotation as well, just a tiny bit of ball joint there. Leg up, back, sideways, rotation as well as rotation here. So that's funsies. Take that back. Single knee joint, and feet is on a peg and swivel, just like Woody. And of course he does have this, so you push this button down and he will spring open his backpack. But these don't like fly all the way out, so you still have to do that. There we go. So if you're zooming on these figures, I also want to highlight some of the nice details. The sheriff molding there is pretty good. And you're moving down to the belt, this sort of bull is also pretty good as well. The suit lining here is decent, but not on the arms though. In fact, the upper arm and lower arm are both built with 3 pieces each. You have a center bar that goes through that connects to the joints, and around that bar you attach the 3 pieces together. And even though you don't need glue, I highly recommend you gluing it down, because I can see here these seam lines like to pop out quite easily. These 3 pieces, the lower arm pieces, are actually like surrounded by this sort of like a tube piece that just goes over it, which helps it stay together, but you know, it does still want to pop open. So I definitely recommend, you know, gluing down bits of him, at least when you're sure after you finish painting. And of course, I also recommend, you know, sanding him down just a little bit, because, you know, you do have these plasticky issues that show up quite easily, and you probably do want to paint it just a little bit on this piece here to make it look a bit more realistic. And he does have an action figure hole on the back, like for the stands, so that's something that's not hidden compared to other model kits. Moving over to Buzz, the detailing up here is pretty good. These buttons do not push, and it is recommended that you paint these before assembling it, but I wanted to do this for the video and show you what it's like without any painting details, so I'm gonna have to take this chest piece apart. These pieces are on the same piece underneath, so I'm gonna have to pull that out. But overall, you don't really need too much painting on this guy, just some of the buttons. There's one bit here, I'm not quite sure why it's not going down properly. Basically, for the lower arms, you put the 2 white pieces together, and you put the 2 green pieces together that go on top of that, and it's not quite sticking down. So again, I'm gonna need to, you know, glue this down just so it doesn't have this seam line. That can get a little bit annoying. And some of the highlight details I really like include these transparent pieces on the lights there. Those are pretty cool. By the way, these have little bumps when you pull them out and push them in. And I also like the half sort of transparent piece you put there. You plug the transparent piece with the red, and then it goes in underneath the arm, so that's a nice little touch as well. And on the back here, this has got a nice touch. Overall, pretty good look. I did notice when building this, if you push him too tight or slightly incorrectly, these wings will not want to come out properly. So it took me like 2 to 3 tries to get the building correct for the backpack and the upper torso to get these wings popping out just like they should. You see, this one still wasn't coming out, so that can get a little bit annoying. A few more things to highlight between both of these is some of the joints can be a bit loose. if you're gonna mess around with these like regular action figures or pass them to kids and let them play around with it, do note that the arms or legs might pop out quite easily, so that's something to be sure about. And there are some really small parts when building it, so definitely be aware if you're gonna let this let some kids build it up. Just, you know, supervise them, especially like Buzz's little laser point thing on his arm. That's a really small piece, and of course these like gold sort of gear pieces on his boots, those can be kind of sharp in a way, so definitely be careful with those parts. But otherwise, these are pretty excellent action figures. Even without any painting skills, they already look pretty good. The biggest concern is his Solar's eyes, but they do give you pupil stickers, so if you don't want to paint that, even though I recommend you should, use the stickers instead. I recommend just getting a black Gundam marker pen or a regular marker pen, like a small tip one, like an artist one, just paint in the pupils, and it'll look fine. Speaking of the eyes, the articulation can get a little bit tough at times, but as long as you built it correctly, the eyes should move quite freely when you push them around. They don't roll around on their own, thank God, because that'd be really annoying if the eyes keep moving on their own. Well, they sort of have just enough grip, just enough clutch for you to move and play around with them. Posing these are all quite easy, quite nice. If you don't use the peg on the stand, they can stand on their own pretty well, unless you do more dynamic poses. Obviously, Woody's a bit harder for him to stand, but he can still do it just fine, thanks to his articulated feet with the swiveling feet joint. Overall, if you want a somewhat 1/12 scale, like imagine if these were real characters, real people in their 1/12 scales to go with other action figures, these are pretty good buys. If you want something that's more accurate to the movie, there are other toy brands out there with a bigger Buzz and bigger Woody. If you like the Pervert Woody stuff from Revoltech, both of them are at a slightly smaller scale, so these guys are bigger. And I think the articulation on these are also much better than clicky and annoying Revoltech stuff. And if you don't want to paint this stuff, or you want a high quality Bandai stuff, there's also a like Metal Chogokin thing for Buzz, like a proper metal figure, but that's really expensive, so you maybe get that instead if you don't want to build a model kit. For me personally, with all the options out there, I do enjoy, you know, light model kitting. I do enjoy painting stuff if I need to, and like, you know, bit of building. And I do like the overall Bandai style of joints and scale, so this is ideal for me. There's no point in me picking up a real 1-to-1 scale Buzz Lightyear figure because I can't play him with any of my other action figures. I can't display him with any of my other action figures, but this is a good size for me, so I can do a lot, you know, with him, with some of my other, you know, SH Figuarts or Figma or even Marvel and Star Wars figures. I hope you guys found this video useful, or you guys enjoyed this video. If you have, please click the thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and click the little bell button and all that good stuff. You can support this channel by turning ad block off while watching my videos, or heading over to Patreon. You can support it that way as well. But as always, take care and have a nice day. I will see you guys soon. Bye bye now.